Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international seminar on Cow Hug Day, cows, cow therapy, animal-assisted therapies, animal-assisted interventions, bovine therapy, service animals, indigenous breeds, animal welfare, livelihoods, One Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2023, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. Today we have two sessions, one by Mary Florence and one by Ramya Shivakumar. So we welcome, we'll start with Ramya. So we have Miss Ramya Shivakumar with us. She will be presenting on
A very warm good evening to one and all gathered here. Sir, very good evening, sir. Life is like a mirror. If you smile at it,
Ramya, we can't see you, ma. You can switch on your video also and start your presentation also, if any.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Good evening to one and all gathered here. So life is like a mirror. If you smile at it, it will smile at you. So let us share this. Let me share the screen of how to protect our rare breeds of cow and the global protection of cow breeds and bovine. So let me share the screen. Let's go. Global importance of cow protection. Why should men kill cows for their selfish purpose? Why should man not be satisfied grains, fruits, and which combined together can produce hundreds and thousands of palatable dishes? Why don't we? Yeah, here is the question I'm asking to the people who are not just ready to protect our rare breed of cow or ox or buffaloes or those kind of breeds. Why are these plateau houses all over the world to kill innocent animals? Why? Yeah, I'm asking the question why. In Sanskrit, the word Koshala literally means cow protection, or the place where cows are sheltered. Other Sanskrit names for the cow are Gomata, mother cow, Kamatenu, wish fulfilling, and Agniya, never to be killed. The cow is of tremendous importance for all the humanity. We will show you why. Ox bull employment. Yeah, Everyone knows that ox and bull gives employment to us because it's plotting on the land, and it is giving us grains, fruits, whatever the things, grains, pulses, so many things. If a farmer just want to feed his leg on the plotting farm means though the ox also wanted to be plot on the farming land. So the ox also having the equal power to employment in the farming and the farming areas, and in the part of farmers. So farmer is the partner of bull and or ox. They are the one very special to the our nation uh, because of their incompletable part, as well as their credits to the land, that is our we say bhumi mata we say bhumi mata. So the meaningful engagement should be provided for workable oxen. Such tasks might look plotting and tilling the land, local transportation, tourism, and ox cart rides, powering machinery via a draught unit. Yeah, this works and all were only done by or in ancient time only done by ox and bulls. Nowadays only we are having a tractor, then we have so many machines, then we have so many technological version of machines at all. Now on that time, the ox and bull are the only employment giving cattle to the people, which cattle to the farmers who are plotting in the area of the farm area. So this is the crux of a healthy cow production plan. If bulls are put to meaningful employment, then milk production will be viable and economic. So we have a breeding program which does not include regular work for the males, as both unhealthy and extremely uneconomical. In a booklet, an alarm called published in 1994 by Akal, Bharat Krishi and Koseva Sam, the authors identify four major problems which have crippled today's farmers in India, as well as those around the rest of the world. Use of chemical fertilizer, use of pesticides, use of hybrid seeds, and use of mechanized farming. So this booklet in Alarm Clock said that use of chemical fertilizer, use of pesticides, use of hybrid seeds, and use of merchandise farming. These all farmings are now just creeped in the time of 90s itself. So these are from the 90s only we all get this tractor, these type of machines. From before 90s and 80s and the 70s 60s, we only have that ox and bull to travel from one area to another, or we have horse. So many like animals like cattle like are very helpful for roaming here and there. Now we have a pity thing that in every cities in my city I'm seeing in my own eyes today, the cows are roaming here and there without the government knowledge. I don't know why it is happening. They just roaming here and there. There is no one to take care of the cow. In temple and all, there's roaming here and there, and it is eating the plastic bags, and it's not able to protect by any other people or in the society. It is just eating the plastic bags, and it is just here roaming here and there. It is like what no one is to care for the komata, like the way now the pity world in the 2023, now it is like that. I don't need to complain. I don't want to complain, but it is a pity time of this year. I'm seeing with my naked eye. Today I have seen and today I have experienced. I don't know why this happening. The expense of feeding the bulls will be deficit to the farmer unless they realize their potential for alternative energy by employing them in tilling the fields and hauling. Otherwise, the farmer, the most countries throughout the world, acquires his economic profit by selling the bull for meat. Yeah, they're selling the bull for meat. How it's possible? Why are harming? It is also a living organism, right? It's like human being. If human being is cut off, we will put case, or it's like a criminal case. And why don't we respect the cattle breed, ox, bull, and bovines? I don't know why. Why? I want to ask you today why? Why this happening? Why shouldn't we protect our cow? Why shouldn't we protect our bovines? Why shouldn't we protect our ox? Why shouldn't we protect our buffaloes? Why shouldn't we protect our all those things in living organism? Is it okay to eat that? Don't you go to veganism, or don't you go to just eat chicken? You are having another subsidy for another substitute for that, no? Why don't you, for you itself, they are just manufacturing the chicken in lively itself. That is why I don't want to talk about that. But why? Why are harming the buffaloes and bulls? We are celebrating a cow hug day. In another hand, the same people are doing the cutting things. I don't know why. India's 84 million brought animals supply equivalent of 30 kilowatts, providing the energy to cultivate 100 million hectares and for hauling above 30,000 million tons came of freight in 15 million costs. This works animals save 6 million tons of petroleum a year. Yeah, these are published in 1989 by the Centre for Tropical Veterinary Medicine of University of Edinburgh, Scotland. In Scotland, it have the research have find it out that the animals 100 million hectares one for a hauling about kilometers right in 50 million costs. It is just saving the 6 million tons of petroleum per year. Why don't we do this? Nowadays, we have battery using of electrical solar battery and yeah, battery cells. So many things are just be grown up. Why don't we use oxygen? Why don't we go to our traditional method? Why don't we feel shy for using that? Success in today's economic climate calls for mass production, which relies on costly and polluting factors such as tractors, fossil fuels. Chemicals, fertilizer, and heavy mortgages unable to compete, the small farmer is driven out of businesses. Agriculture become agribusiness when greedy multinational companies look to control of food production. This resulted in twilight of small farms. The farmers are often completed to strikes, but eventually they will be forced to work in factories or to become unemployed. Industrialized countries need to reintroduce ox power in order to feed the people as petroleum becomes scarce. Right now, there are millions of young bulls that could be trained to produce grain. Yeah, the danger is that as increasing petroleum prices force up the price of grain, cows, and bulls will be the first target of massive slaughter because they require the most feed. Oh my God, what a pity it is. Ox drawn equipment doesn't compact soil and reduce aeration as does modern heavy equipment. Ox equipment is simple and does not require heavy industry for manufacture, repair for replacement parts. So next, we have to see that tractors have completely replaced the need for workers. They also severely minimize the people needed for agricultural work. So the farmers' strike was happened. Attend the meeting at these three places. At these places, so we can see that in Tuesday on June 26 p.m. The special speakers Rust Quanti Strike Committee. The district lessons provided cheap labor for factories, cheap labor fed with cheap food set the stage for industrial revolution, and the tractor has pushed things much further. So huge proportion of our food is now produced at huge, heavily mechanized industrial farms under the control of a handful of giant agri-business firms. These they produce cheap to the grow and cheap to buy, but it is increasingly deficient in basic nutrition. Yeah, right. Save our soil. So, in this thing to save our cow as well as save our soil. So, meanwhile, increasing the use of chemical fertilizer, herbicides, and insecticides sacrifices the best fertility of our soils and spread poison through our land and through the food chain. Milk, yeah, coming to the milk, doodh, we say it's a doodh in Hindi. Uh, so milk, pal, so white. It is like oil, as it is has a good piece of white. White denotes peace. So milk denotes the peacefulness of our drink. So if we drink our milk, if we drink the cow milk, it will give peaceful and calmful mind to our. If you just mix it with coffee powder or tea powder, it taste doesn't change because it is the pure one and a suckered one. That is because of komata. Is veganism right or wrong? Should we drink milk at all? Judge for yourself. So I just given to your hand. Just judge for yourself. Is veganism right or wrong? Should we drink milk at all? Mankind requires the milk products which provide all the necessary nutrition for its physical, mental, and spiritual health. Yes, serving 1 cup or 250 ml of 2% fat milk contains 285 mg of calcium, which represent 22% to 29% of the daily recommended intake of calcium for an adult. So, calcium is very important. Calcium found abundantly in milk is required for the blood to clot and for the heart to function normally, and it protects the teeth by neutralizing the cavity forming acid in foods. Real raw milk. Many people are against the use of commercial milk and instead they encourage people to drink what is called raw milk. So, what is this? Real or raw milk? Yeah. Okay, raw milk should be immediately boiled when it gets home as it cannot be stored at room temperature. Alternative, it should be made into yogurt, butter, or ghee, clarified butter. Raw milk also contains vitamin D and K, essential for bone health, iodine, a mineral essential for thyroid function, vitamin B12 and riboflavin, necessary for cardiovascular health and energy production. Biotin and pantothenic acid, B vitamin, important for energy production, vitamin A critical for immune function, potassium and magnesium for cardiovascular health. Selenium, a cancer preventive trace mineral, thiamine, a B vitamin important for cognitive function, especially memory. Conjugated and linoleic acid, beneficial fatty acid that inhibits, shown to kill human skin cancer, colorectal cancer, and breast cancer cells in vitro studies, and may help low cholesterol and prevent atherosclerosis. Only available in milk from grass-fed cows. Just reminded that it is a grass-fed cows. So let us just sing one song for cow and just protect our cow breeds. So la 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 la. Let us protect our cow. Let us protect our cow. Let us hug the day with cow. La la la. Okay, just giving importance to the cow, I just sing the song. The glories of raw milk are nearly endless. In addition to aforementioned compounds, it contains protein, carbohydrates, calcium, niacin, protein, carbohydrate, calcium, niacin, phosphorus, and sodium, as well as minerals. Each of these nutrition make an important contribution to human health. Proteins, for example, are composed of amino acids which build and maintain body tissues, fight off disease, transport oxygen in the blood, regulate blood sugar, aid in making the hormones that regulate our metabolism, and supply energy. Real food for cow is green grass inspiring spring, summer, autumn, and green food silage, hay, and root vegetables in winter. It is not soy milk, cottonseed meal, or other commercial feeds, or no, it's a big waste, chicken manure or citrus peel, cake laced with pesticides. Commercially processed food. In some countries, many atrocious substances are routinely fed to cow as nutritional concentrates. Cow feed and grower. A high protein fattening food used primarily for beef production have been found to contain chicken manure. bovine flesh and bone, fish oils, and even human excrement. This is all the commercial processed food that we wanted to be feel shy for harming the cows and bovines. So since the end of Second World War, countries such as Britain have looked for cheap, readily available source of protein to boost the growth of animals. This is what where the basic growth of meat as just started by for just killing that the cattle. Devastating diseases. So not now as accepted fact that the conception is in part. So this is what happened earlier. So in the Second World War. Some mad cow disease. So, with a total disregard for any moral issues such as feeding animal by products to herbivores, which is totally unnatural. Young beef cows, in particular, have been reared on a diet so high in protein that within 18 months they are ready for slaughter. Vital nutrients like vitamins A and D and the prices factor catalysts that promote optimum mineral assimilation are greatest in milk from cows eating green grasses, especially rapidly growing green grass in the spring and the autumn. Just see the picture of the bovine, how pretty it is. Why should we want to just harm that living organism? Why should it be? Why shouldn't we protect that? So, in every home, we need a cow, sir. I already said in last day. So yeah, that is what I'm saying here. Every day we have to just want to give one uh, just give one salute to the cow because it is giving its own life to the man, human being, just plotting in the area, giving milk, butter, so many milk production, dairy production, and just giving dung. In the dung, you are just giving golden dung. We just giving gases, getting gases. So many things we are getting. If one cow is in a one home, like a pets, like a dog, cat, we will be improved more than any other country, right? When we go to a traditional method, we will be improved more than that what we are now. Nowadays, people are enjoying that new era, that is modern era, that they are enjoying that. Just having a Coca-Cola with a biryani cup. What is the life with this? Why do you want to choose like that? So I have to mention that most milk labeled organic comes from dairy cows that are kept in confinement that entire lives and never see green grass. See, they never see green grass. So, what is wrong about commercial dairy products? Pasteurization, yeah, pasteurization. Nowadays, in city people, now only villages you can see the persons who just take from the cow milk and readily give that milk. But in the city and all, we'll be having a milk products like in a packaged method. So in pasteurization entails heating milk for a very short period of time and cooling it is very fast in order to kill many harmful microorganisms. Though the microorganism only having that much of power, we don't recognize that people coming from the list, they are giving that ready milk to the people living in the areas of villages. They know I'm a villager. I know the value of the milk. 100 that is 1 liter milk is equal to rupees 50, but we are enjoying the milk because it has some peacefulness and it has some taste in it and it riches in calcium. That is how we are. Though I am a veganism, I used it to drink milk. I used it to eat paneer, but paneer and in my own itself. That is making ourselves very healthy. So pasteurization is very harmful. But what to do? Our society is going wrong in path. We can't able to judge or we can't able to one hand shouldn't able to protect this cow within 1 day. We couldn't do it. We have to day by day we have to say with one hand and second hand and third hand. So within by giving a hand together, hand and hand together and together, we can save it. Pasteurization destroys enzymes, diminishes vitamin content, denatures fragile milk. Protein destroys vitamin C, B12, and B6. Kills beneficial bacteria, promotes pathogens, and is associated with allergies. Cows fed pasteurized milk do poorly and many die before maturity. Raw milk sours naturally, but pasteurized milk turns bitter. So coming to pasteurization, so many things are there. Homogenization. Okay, homogenization is a treatment which prevents the creamy layer from separating out of milk. It is process that breaks down a butter fat globules so they do not rise to the top. Homogeneous milk has been linked to heart disease. Oh no, this is what nowadays we are going on through. Consumers have been duped in believing that low fat and skim milk products are good for them. Only by marketing low fat and skim milk as a healthy food can the modern dairy industry get rid of its excess poor quality. Low fat milk, low fat milk from modern high product heads. What's wrong with milk fat? Butterfat contains vitamin A and D for the assimilation of proteins in water fraction the milk. Without them, protein and calcium are more difficult to utilize and possibly toxic. Butterfat is rich in short and medium chain fatty acids, which protect against disease and stimulate the immune system. It contains glycosphingolipid, which prevent intestinal distress, and conjugated linoleic acid, which has strong anti-cancer properties. Additives. Powdered skim milk, source of dangerous oxidized cholesterol and neurotoxic amino acid is added to 1% and 2% milk. Low-fat yogurts and sour creams contain mucopolysaccharide slime. Pale butter from hay-fed cows contains colorings to make it look like vitamin-rich butter from grass-fed cows. Bioengineered enzymes are used in large-scale cheese production. Many mass-produced cheeses contain additives and colorings, and imitation cheese products contain vegetable oils. The source of most commercial milk is the modest Holstein bred to produce huge quantities of milk, 3 times as much as the old-fashioned cow. She needs special feeding and antibiotics to keep her well. Her milk contains high levels of growth hormone from her pituitary gland. Even she is paired with the indigenities of genetically engineered bovine growth hormone to push her to the adult limits of milk production. So, in order to produce milk, the dairy industry has to impregnate cows yearly to ensure the maximum yield per cow. Kill the cows that are not kept for milk production as soon as the best economic situation allows. Oh my God. Kill the cow after it has served its time as a milk producer, thereby entering into produce body into the human food chain. In some countries, use the cow chemical stimulant in order to produce more milk. Kill cows that do not reach the optimum milk yield. Kill cows that are disease prone, as the cost of medical attention in terms of drugs and time will render the cow uneconomical. At the birth of the calf, the strong motherly bond between the cow and her calf is forcibly severed after only a few days. One thing that sacred thing that at the birth time of a calf, there will be a milk called seambal. We say it in Tamil, seambal. It is like a motherlyhood milk. It was only just wanted to be drunken by only the calf. We should not take that milk because the calf having that period of time only the calf having that milk. After that, it is gone like human. It go through some veganism like grains, grasses, so many things of eating things which would be helpful to cows. So the suckered milk of the cow, when it's in the period of calf, when it yield the calf. So at that time, the milk should be very tasty. As well, it is only for the calf, not for the people of who is not for the people. See, why I am saying this, this means the calf wanted to be protected. If one cow protected only, next cow will be there. So we have to protect our cow means we just wanted to protect from the calf itself. So from the basic itself, we want to protect. The cow is forced to produce 10 times more milk than her calf would drink. That milk is used for commercial needs, whereas her calf is fed chemical substitute for milk. The calf would naturally suck it for about 8 months. So milk cows like this never see green grass or the shining sun, being isolated in small wooden pens without even being able to turn around. How pity it is, just see. They are fed with unhealthy food without iron in order to make their meat pinkish as consumers like it. After 3 to 5 months, they are sent to slaughterhouse. Having been fed artificial and unhealthy food, they are so sick by that time that many will have died even before being slaughtered. Only 20 to 25 percentage of cows are mean for the dairy industries. All others, all others. All others are after 2 weeks destined for the meat industry, the leather industry, or the cheese industry, or which they are killed to supply rennet. The milking mastering machines often transfer injections. Around 25% of machine milked cows suffer from mastitis. So the machine also require the use of powerful and poisonous chemicals for their so-called cleaning. Also, it is not possible to ensure there is enough milk left in the udder for the calf. So this is what we have to protect our cow and calf. So after this, I'm going to show you here uh, thing about our nation's scheme of e-Pasudan Heart. Global bovine livestock. In bovine, cattle and buffaloes are the subdivisions. So India is 14 percentage only. So rest of the world is 86 percentage. Just reminded, India is only 14 percentage. So the buffaloes, India have 53 percentage. Rest of the world have 47 percentage. So Indian livestock, indigenous and exotic crossbreed. 80% of the indigenous cattle are non-descriptive and 20% belong to 37 breeds recognized by National Bureau of Animal Genetic Resources (NBAGR). There are 13 breeds of water buffaloes and they are indigenous. India has widest diversity in bovine livestock. So the cattle comparison, cattle breed, indigenous bovine breeds. That is strength is study endowed with the quality of heat tolerance, resistant to disease and strict ability to thrive under extreme climatic conditions and survive with low inputs, more disease resistance. And this is weakness is low genetic potential for milk production. Average yield is only 2.3 kg per day for cows. Average lactation period is only 180 per 200 days for cows, exotic and crossbreed bovine. Milk productivity of exotic and crossbreed cattle is much higher than the indigenous breeds. Average yield is 7.02 kg days for cows. Average lactation period is 250 to 275 days for cows. So that performing optimally weaknesses only under a high cost input farm management system, unable to bear the extreme harsh climate condition, vulnerable to incidence of animal disease. This causes decline in milk production and reproductive efficiency. Current scenario: the bovine population in India are owned by 60 marginal small and medium farmer households with an average herd size of 2 to 3 milch animals. The figures of high production are reflective of the charge number of bovine population rather than that of high productivity and resource efficiency. Dairying activity is a major supplement source of income for these farmers. However, the Indian farm management system is typically a low input, low output system with low productivity. So the Honorable Prime Minister vision for doubling the farmer income makes the adoption of the strategy to enhance the share of income from animal trading imperative. So there is a shortcoming in the animal trade market. Number of animals sold annually is 17 million. The amount involved is rupees 340,000 million. So no authorized organized market, decentralized, fragmented, dispersed for indigenous breeds, being sold in heart and animal sales, etc. So animal fairs, coming to animal fairs in Tamil Nadu, there is one place called Matatavani. So there it is called, there will be a animal fairs. Hearts also been available in the e-portal. Now I'm just going to say about the e-portal. So multiple agency for semen, embryos, calves, heifers, adult mobiles. Information asymmetry, certified milk E, pedigree, the elite germplasm. Information not readily available for the farmer. Misleading valuation due to lack of traceability and tracking other malpractices. Animals are fed special diets to increase milk yield. Animals are not milk day before sale to flourish falsify yield. Horns removed to mislead for the age. Teeth filled to conceal real age of animals. E. Pashudan Heart, a web portal. E. Trading market portal for livestock germplasm, additional related service will connect farmers with breeders, central state cooperative and private agencies, real-time authentic certified information on availability of germplasm, centralized repository of information for central and state governments, details of the portal. So will provide direct access to the farmers, breeders to various organization sources, wherein forces semen, embryos, and livestock certification are available. Will connect farmers to 56 semen stations, 4 CHRS, and 7 CCBS in the country. Details like animal frozen semen ID, progeny particular, dates, and other terms and conditions will be available on designated pages of the portal. Farmers can directly get the details like address, contact numbers, photo gallery, etc. of individual institutes, agriculture, university in states. Details of the portal. So exclusive site for farmers as farmer platform. Farmer platform on the main menu of the website will provide 3 options in the Gem Plaza marketplace for animals. Frozen, semen, and embryos, list of suppliers. It will establish link between farmer to farmer to farmer institutes. This dissemination to the information to farmers will be through landline and mobile phone. Details of the portal. Dynamic operation for report generation. For dynamic operation, the real time data will be updated by periodical data entries, will be linked to main portal, Siemens station, CCBFS, CHRS, and breeders societies will be marked with data entry forms, a one-time login password for making periodical data entries in the system. Data will be used for sorting, monitoring, and generating of reports for. So next, for farmers, one-stop portal for bovine breeders, sellers, and buyers. Creating and comparative farm network, making farmers exchange local knowledge and resources. Availability of this free germplasm with knowing genetic merit minimizes the involvement of middlemen. Sales only of tagged animal with Nakul Svastia Patra. Preservation of diverse indigenous bovine breeds in the country. Increase in milk production and productivity. Increase in farmers' incomes. For institute, demand and supply of various items, latest stock positions, monitoring and evaluation reports, share directly and annual report. Target outcomes for government, central, states, union territories. Program oversight in real time with the greatest transparency. Zero cost for states of transport creation. So transport creation and demand supply position of various items. Monitoring and evaluation report generation directly annual report generation, the repository and aggregator of both public and private sector services, evidence-based policy support, information for decision, forecasting and targeting, production plan for nation targeted genetic development, assessing need for infrastructure and education, global recognition for using data mining, analytics, capacity building at all levels. So for this portal features, we have to database of livestock, frozen semen and embryos, stock position, advanced search on multiple parameters, extensive details of the animal and frozen semen and embryos, photo zoom facility for better details of animals, regional languages selection menu, comparison wish list of animals, user feedback or rating, online payment facility with other integration, help desk and toil free number, additional services, technical specification. Based on open source technology, cloud computing infrastructure, crowdsourcing platforms, scalable, secure, and robust. So the buyers arena, this is the portal. So here so many varieties of bovines are there. Here it is Mexana, Geer, this is Jafar Badi, this is Mexana Harij, this is Jafar Badi, and this is Mexana Hariji. So this is 70,000. This is 68,000. This is 30,000. Gir is 30,000. Jafarpadi is 40,000. 68,000 Mexana. So these value of these are in our country. These are details of each animal. Here the animal's photography will be there. So seller details, the payment and supply, list of additional servers, expectation from states. So thank you. So I should give my thank you from here, and I have to add some more points into here. That is called Jallikattu. So our traditional sports called Jallikattu to enhance the boldness of ox and bulls. We are just giving the sport on the third day after the Pongal celebration. So after the Mahara Shankranti, we after the third day we are having the Jallikattu sports to enhance the cows breeds and reproduction, as well as its power, and to enhance its hormone change. So many things are to be will be increasing. That there is so many advantages in ox and bulls. It is not at all harming the buffaloes, ox or a bull. It is just portraying the boldness of our traditional method called Jallikattu. So Veerane Veeram Potru. So telling the boldness of the bold thing. So the cow, starting from the cow itself, the Tamilan having the Veeram, that is called boldness and the courageous thing. So let me finish with this. Let us protect our rare breed of cows or buffaloes or bovines or whatever it is the breed. So let us, it is also like human being. Let us protect our cow. The happy cow hugging day weeks. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ramya, for your insightful presentation. And participants, if you have any queries or observations, you can unmute yourself and share, if any. Okay, if there are no queries as of now, you can also share it after this session. So it was very insightful. You have covered almost all the aspects from cattle welfare and also various services provided by various departments of animal husbandry, animal welfare. And yeah, it is very important to preserve our own culture and traditions, along with when we are talking about sustainability, we have to look for alternative methods. Like, of course, there are when we have technology and when we have these latest gadgets and machinery, but at the same time, at what cost? That is what we have to, at what cost we are using them and what cost we are consuming them are very important. So these aspects, when we look at how this animal farming is happening, or how this present day agriculture is happening, is causing a serious concern. Of course, we have been able to reach the required production, but it should not be at the cost of human health, plant health, animal health, and also planet health. That is also very important. Today, you may exploit the nature planet, but tomorrow, what will be the situation? There will be, now itself, we are seeing a lot of disasters, climate change, a lot of things are happening. So tomorrow, we will not have a fertile soil, fertile lands. And after, fossil fuels gets exhausted after 2-3 decades. So what are we going to consume as part of fuels? So at that time, there will be no alternative. So we have to go for again, this solar power or other alternatives. So let's not wait until we are forced to adopt something which is more cleaner, greener, and more eco-friendly. So let's now take initiative, and before it's beyond our hands or beyond our capabilities, as Ramya has rightly pointed out, we need to go in a very sustainable manner, affordable manner. So let's all conserve and protect our own indigenous breeds, because they are very much adaptable. They can adjust, and they can perform best in our local climatic conditions. And so with these short notes, we shall move on, and we wish you all the success, and we look forward for more sessions in future.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So if there are no queries, then we'll move on to our next session by Mary. Then after that, we'll take up few more queries, if any. In the meanwhile, if you have any queries, you can feel free to share in chat box, or you can unmute yourself and you can share it after this session. So now we invite Mary Florence for her presentation. Mary, you can unmute yourself and start your video and presentation.
Good evening, sir. First, I want to thank Dr. Ravindra sir and Sri Holistic Foundation and Sri Research Institute Center for Arts and Science for giving me the opportunity to present on social work in rural settings. First, we go to the empowerment series overview. Empowering programs with resources that enhance social work education, social work competency oriented education. Council for Social Work Education defines educational policy and accreditation standards developed to 10 crore competency and 41 related practice behaviors. Every student should have the masters the practice behaviors and core competencies before completing the program. Resources aligned to EPSAS 2028, helping hands the icons called attention to content that relate to practicing behaviors and competencies. Competency notes at the end of the chapter help out the practice of behavior and competencies in practical context. Resources aligned to EPSC 2008, the practice behaviors workbook developed with the text provides actionable exercises that assist in mastering the practice of behavior and competencies. Additional online resources can be found and defined of urban and rural are based on the population size, not behavioral attributes of population groups, such as definitions do not take into account the complexity of life in either place. Key facts about rural life: 50 million people, farming no longer centered to rural community. People have more limited resources than urban residents. Different environment and lifestyle that found in metropolitan areas. Key facts about rural life: growing numbers of Hispanics, weekly earnings from non-metro workers are 70% to 80% of those for metro workers. Food insecurity, not enough food to meet basic needs, is greater than in non-metro areas than in metro areas. Characteristics of rural communities: basic friendliness and trust, isolation and resistance to exchange, suspicion towards newcomers or outsiders, independence of spirit yet vulnerable, financial and experimental poverty, reliance of informal or natural helping systems for assistance, characteristics of rural communities, concrete thinking and reserved behaviors, traditional values and conservation, more holistic, less compartmentalized lives, social organization of rural communities, although they are common threads of roles and relationship that knit the community together. Each locate as its own chapter, support services in rural communities, scarce or non-exist. Church is a significant institution. County agent often serves as a counselor, case manager, and resource finder. Reliance or on informal or natural helping networks, impact of digital divide, social problems in rural areas, few available mental health services, major gaps in health care services, persistent poverty, rapidly growing older adult population, ethnic segregation. The rural family is the notion that rural families experience a high degree of harmony, are problem free, and enjoy high levels of life satisfaction is not necessarily born out of by fact. Crisis of small farmers, few resources are available to assist the small farmer and rancher in maintaining poverty and purchasing equipment essential for successful competition. Social welfare in rural communities. Rural areas are very in ability to finance needed services. Few services are available. Those are that are tend to be basic ones. Public social services are generally extended to rural areas through state agencies. Social work in rural settings, changes become slow. Strong relationships with the community leaders are essential. Requires knowledge of resources, resource development, methods of linking clients with resources, and case management. Social work in rural settings. Everyone knows the social worker, both professionally and personally. Maintaining client confidentiality can be difficult. Social worker who do not reside in the community and often regarded as outsiders. Rural social work as a general practice, setting problems and lack of resources provide a unique set of challenges, require creativity, innovation, and ability to mobilize resources seen as neighbors as well as practitioners. I will be doing another presentation, that is practice of rural social work on poverty that and the effect of families. The practice of rural social work on poverty and the effect of families. Generally, when one thinks of the rural issue, for most that what comes to mind are serene, peaceful environments, safe neighbors, a close, slow pace of living, self-provisioning families who grow their own food, and close-knit communities. These things that also tend to be depicted in the media. Many of these attributions of rural life are true in rural communities. For instance, it is has been said that rural residents tend to have deeper stake in their communities, as it is likely that the area has been home for the families for generation. Temple Mann and Mitchell 2002 said this definition. Rural communities have also provided its residents with a sense of safety and protection, and in such a tightly woven environment, it is simply more difficult for aberrant behavior to go unnoticed. People in rural areas also tend to practice balance, reciprocity in neighbors, family, and friends, help each other out in return for similar assistance downline. This definition was said by Nelson 2006. However, there is darker side to rural living that many don't see or think about, which is the rural poverty and the effects it has on children and families. In fact, rural areas in America are in deep and persistent crisis. The ability of small towns and rural communities to satisfy basic social needs had declined sustainability in recent years due to demographic, economic, and political decline of family and agriculture. Unfortunately, children are among those. Most of them are affected, as poverty rates for children in rural areas have historically been higher than rates for children in urban areas. Rural social workers, however, are faced with daily challenges that come along with poverty and need to find innovative ways to address the population needs. Moreover, rural social workers are continuously advocating at the macro level for more devices and better rural uh, for more better and resources while playing the role of super person for their clients and communities. They are also trying to build their own personal challenges of loss of privacy and lack of work related supports. What are the rural troubles? Rural communities have essentially the same troubles of any urban area, combined with some unique issues only epidemic in rural areas. These include economic, social, and geographical factors, as well as different attitude towards self-help. Uh, Unlike urban areas, however, when faced with comparable issues, rural areas are less resources to address the needs of the client system. Economic issues are rural communities tend to have a disappropriate number of economically at risk residents, high unemployment and poverty rates, low earning per job, low per capita income, and generally weaker sections that do non metropolitan counties as a whole working in rural areas as twice to earn minimum wage in their non-rural counterparts at 12% and 7% comparatively, mainly on attracting industries, supporting new business, and exploring domestic and international trade. This has added to the wider gap between the rich and poor in rural areas. A rural community also face the challenges of the youth because youth leaving the areas because of the depressed economy and moving to urban areas where in the chance of finding a better paying job is higher. While however, while the youth are moving out, the upper class individuals looking for weekend gateways are moving are known as immigration. Social Work Speaks 2006. This puts the original rural residents at a disadvantage because the newcomers increase the property on the values on the land, which in turn flows out of the rural residents because they cannot afford the higher property taxes. The newcomers also press and vote for city like services like libraries, recreational centers, and road maintenance that gain raises tax, while which the rural folks are not able to afford. Social Work Speaks 2006. Therefore, the taxes raised and the Therefore, the taxes raised and the land brought up, the original rural residents are made to drive long distance for the jobs. Rural areas in general are facing the problems of employment opportunities that offer a viable wages, challenges in obtaining reliable transportation, finding any child care such as less satisfactory and affordable child care, and the shortage of non-deficient reasonably priced and housing, and some of the challenges of these community. Rural social workers are trying to tackle These issues are of the concern in rural children rely on the parents' income, and rural communities rely on minimum wage jobs and private sector. Rural children are more likely to be poor than the children of the urban, and that if the parents are even be able to break through the barrier of childcare and transportation to obtain uh, employment. Thank you, sir, for giving the opportunity. I once again thank Dr. Ravindra Sir and Sri Holistic Health Foundation and Sri Research Institute Center for Arts for giving me the opportunity to present on rural social work and social work in poverty and agriculture. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mary, for the insightful session on rural social work and social work in rural settings. Participants, if you have any queries or observations, you can unmute yourself and share, or you can use chat box to share your observations or queries. If there are no queries, and we wish you all the success for your future endeavors and look forward for more sessions. Mary, congratulations to both of you.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving me the opportunity to present.
So we will move on to today's commemorations, as we have got some time, and we'll look into other aspects as well. Today we have important commemorations like today we have World Anthropology Day. Which falls on third Thursday of February. So this year it is today, February 16th. And this day is to celebrate and commemorate the field and share scientific study of humanity as it covers human behavior, biology, and how human societies function. And it considers past, present information and looks to explore the future. And anthropology helps explain the origins of humans and make us unique as species. It helps us to understand how our world works, why we behave the way we do, and how we influence our environments. Actually, this not only helps just for human beings, but also for identifying various animal species, animals and their, habits, lifestyles, and a lot more beyond human beings. The American Anthropological Association, in short, 3As, started World Anthropology Day in 2015. It was initially called National Anthropology Day, but it was changed in 2016 as World Anthropology Day. Seemed more appropriate since anthropology is essential to the whole world, not just one nation. Anthropology studies the origin and development of human cultures as well as societies. So this week is also very much related, as in a society, cattle also plays important role, and it examines characteristics in the past and the present communities using different scientific methods. Studying cultures shows the learned behaviors of a people, their belief systems, their institutions, their languages, social structures, cultures, traditions, practices, rituals, and a lot more. Their lifestyle, food habits, and a lot more can be learned through anthropology. The field investigates how various people in the world lived over a period of time. The study is required to present human subjects in a clear and unbiased manner. To accomplish, the subjects are usually observed in their local environments. Anthropologists then use process of ethnography to describe the local customs and interactions. Participating in everyday lives of their subjects allows anthropologists to observe and explain the real purpose of people's culture, institution, and practices. So this kind of observation or anthropological process is known as participant observation. To ensure they are unbiased, anthropologists must assess their interpretations of the cultures and societies they study in their context. And this is to avoid ethnocentrism. Ethnocentrism is the biased view that all groups are less than another, usually their personal, social, or cultural group. The goal of an anthropologist is to describe a society and its culture in the local terms. So the study of its history becomes an integral part of cultures in 5th century, and age of enlightenment scholars seeks to understand society and behavior patterns that follow definite principles in 18th century. In 19th century, two main theories, evolutionism and diffusionism, attempt to explain how societies developed, emerged in 19th century. Anthropologists began to understand different cultures independently without comparing them to East or West in 20th century. Anthropology helps us to discover, rediscover facts and information about everything, including people, politics, animals, economics, food, race, parenting, lifestyle, food habits, cultural traditional practices, and various other topics that influence the human life. Anthropologists and archaeologists usually work in research organizations, consulting firms and conservation sites, and also in public and private sectors. The branches of anthropology includes archaeology, biological anthropology, cultural anthropology, and linguistic anthropology. And there are other specializations as well. So on this day, take time to learn something new about anthropology and have conversations about your favorite anthropology topics and share some topics, facts which are new. As already mentioned, anthropology studies human behavior, exploring cultural traditions, music, art, food, and human relationships, etc. And some anthropologists study the detailed migration patterns of humans over the years. And it also considers humans' adaptations, adjustments, and changes over a period of time. Anthropologists usually work as researchers or professors in universities or in research organizations like Archaeological Survey of India and similar organizations. Most anthropologists require higher education to be called themselves as a professionals, at least a master's degree or a doctorate. And this day is a wonderful occasion to broaden our understanding about anthropology topics and how they are affecting our everyday lives. It also allows researchers to share their work and enlighten the general public, also paves way for new research, making the world progress further. And also it is a day to create awareness about anthropology, increasing people's interest in the field. It will also give the opportunity to find out more about anthropology. And if interested, you can also explore different careers in anthropology and further studies. Today is also World Cholangiocarcinoma Day. It is also observed on third Thursday in February from 2023 onwards. That is this year, from this year onwards, it is being observed to raise awareness about a very rare but aggressive type of cancer. So it takes place on February 16th this year. From this year, it is being starting commemoration. And as per US statistics, there are around 11,000 cases of cholangiocarcinoma diagnosed each year. And it is one of the rarest and most deadliest forms of cancer. So what exactly is cholangiocarcinoma? Is a rare type of cancer that develops in the bile ducts and small tubes that carry digestive fluids in and around the liver. It also affects the gallbladder. And, on this occasion, doctors, healthcare workers, cancer survivors, and activists, NGOs come together to raise much needed awareness of this form of liver cancer. One of the main reasons why this cholangiocarcinoma is regarded as the deadliest form of cancer is that it is difficult to diagnose. So currently there is no specific screening test to detect this disease. In fact, people impacted by this disease often have no symptoms at all. In most cases, bile duct tumors are usually formed during tests or procedures for other bile duct or liver conditions. like gallstones. Another reason why disease is deadly is due to its nature. It impacts the liver and bile duct. A healthy liver is essential for ingestion and detoxification. But for patients touched by cholangiocarcinoma, the tumors in the bile duct prevent the liver from carrying out certain functions, resulting in conditions like jaundice, weight loss, abdominal pain, and toxin buildup in the system. So identifying the disease early is an effective treatment option. Unfortunately, cholangiocarcinoma is a poorly understood and under-researched disease that is increasing its incidence globally. So let's adopt healthy habits, healthy food habits, healthy lifestyle habits to maintain a healthy liver and support and help those who are battling cancer. So the various reasons are there why people get cancer due to genetics or certain environmental or behavioral factors, and due to our own lifestyle and habits. If cancer is diagnosed in an early stage, the survival rate is better. The earlier it is diagnosed, the better the chances of recovery. Currently, surgery is the only possibility for cure for this cholangiocarcinoma. However, research is still going on, and let's hope for a better treatment and cure in future. So identifying early is paramount. When identified in an advanced stage, the 5-year survival is also less than 20%. So once cancer is identified, the rate of survival is, the general average survival rate is 5 years. And again, it depends on the condition and the lifestyle and food habits and various other reasons. And the total annual economic cost of a cancer is estimated at US dollars 1.16 trillion. And cancer is the second leading cause of death worldwide. And more than half of all cancers are preventable. It is used to be over 65s were most at risk, but there is a new trend over and above the age range in the past few years. So this is a day that raises awareness about one of the deadliest forms of cancer, and also to promote research and also extend our support to the ones who have been already affected with it. And today is also Cairo Protocol Day. In US, around the world reaffirm their commitment to reducing environment pollution within their respective industries and commercial activities. So developed as well as developing countries and underdeveloped countries have to revisit their process, and common people hold their respective governments to account. The overall purpose of this day is to make consistent progress towards building a sustainable and healthy environment for all communities inhabiting in this planet. The Kyoto Protocol is an international agreement that was created to minimize the emission of toxic pollutants, including greenhouse gases that affect climate change. The Kyoto Protocol has been accepted by more than 190 countries, including European Union initially. The US and Canada were also part of the Kyoto Protocol, but both countries left in 2001 and 2011 respectively. Greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, perfluorocarbons, hydrofluorocarbons, and sulfur hexafluoride cause an increase in the normal global temperature, which leads to the global warming. before the implementation of the Kyoto Protocol, another environmental treaty, the UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, was formed in 1992. And in 1997, the Kyoto Protocol was finally approved. The treaty was initially signed by 55 countries and was practically implemented in 2008. More than 30 industrialized countries agreed to bring down their respective greenhouse gas emissions up to 5% or below their 1990 baseline levels. The agreement was primarily intended for developing nations, and a large number of developing countries were not included in the treaty. So at the 18th annual session of the Conference of the Parties, COP, held in Doha, Qatar, it was mutually decided that by all member countries to renew Kyoto Protocol as it was set to expire in 2012. The Kyoto Protocol was extended to 2020, and a similar agreement to control carbon emissions was initiated by the member countries. The agreement was set to launch in 2015 and implemented after the expiration of the Kyoto Protocol in 2020. So we can control the greenhouse gas emissions, and we can contribute to the climate change by organizing a recycling drive in our communities. Recycling helps us to control greenhouse gas emissions by minimizing energy consumption and also using recycled materials to produce new products, or as raw material is consumed in fewer quantities. This helps to minimize greenhouse gas emissions, which take place through the extraction or mining of virgin materials. Glass, metals, paper, and plastics can be treated and reused. So it's important to collect them and use them again and again. And droughts, storms, and rising sea levels destroy animals' special habitats so that they no longer have food or place to live. Climate change and pollution have reduced number of Chinese alligators to less than 100 in the world and many other species. Similarly, the red wolf has become extinct in the wild. So you can also become a member of organizations such as World Wildlife Foundation or various other foundations or NGOs working. You can also collaborate with government departments which are committed to protect endangered species and learning ways on how to prevent these wild animals from becoming extinct. And planting trees has numerous environmental benefits. They help us to reduce harmful effects of climate change by releasing oxygen and controlling carbon dioxide emissions. So you can organize a plantation drive and plant trees in your neighborhood. Today is also Innovation Day in US to recognize the role that new knowledge plays in the making a country more advanced and powerful. And this day is a great way to not only make existing scientists feel valued and appreciated, but it also inspires young people to pursue a career in technology and innovation. So this day celebrates the achievements of the scientific community and opens the doors to new technologies, inventions, and careers for the younger generation. Whenever an organization or an individual introduces a new service or a product that can simplify a particular task or provide a solution for a problem for people, it is known as innovation. So Innovation Day is one such day that acknowledges new ideas and discoveries. The main idea behind this day is to appreciate the efforts of those inventors who are bringing their innovation and changing their mind or changing or embracing the change in the field of science and technology. The Science History Institute and the Society of Chemical Industry created this day to acknowledge those creators who made revolutionary inventions in the past that were still useful as they were many years ago. So it also motivates youngsters to be experimental and inventive in their fields of interest. And the term innovator started to gain popularity in the 19th century. It was in the same period when the industrial plant So the main idea behind this day is to appreciate the efforts of those inventors who are bringing innovation and change in the field of science and technology. Innovation Day also acknowledges, motivates children and focus more on inventions, technological or other technical innovations. The rise of consumerism culture that began in the 1700s also spread across the parts of the world in 1920s, also encouraged different business organizations, individuals, groups to come up with innovative products and services. Labs for research and experimentation were also established in the US and European countries that were funded by granting agencies and governments. So on this Innovation Day, aspiring innovators, businesses, and scientists come together on a single platform to develop sustainable products and services for future generations. So on this day, generate ideas for an invention, read books, literature. Another great way to celebrate this day is to come up with more and more ideas for a new product or a new problem or a new solution to make. You can also note down your ideas in a journal or type them in your system or mobile or online, offline. If you are a pet lover, you can think about some creative accessories for your pets. Or if you are someone who is into makeup, grooming products, then you can think of some innovative do-it-yourself tools for beauty and skin care, and many more. With the evolution of 3D printing, you can also create complex prototypes of various objects, even houses, automobiles, and industrial machinery. Silicon Valley was also called Death Valley when technology started replacing human jobs, and it has got a unique name for Silicon Valley. And the birth of big technology giants like Apple, PayPal, Adobe Systems, etc., were also founded in Silicon Valley. 1/4 of the tech firms in Silicon Valley are run by Asian Americans. Journalist Don Hoefler was the first person to use the name Silicon Valley in 1971. And the headquarters of 39 Fortune 1000 software companies are located in the Silicon Valley. So on this Innovation Day, it helps people see things from a new perspective. It motivates people to come up with creative methods and techniques to make their products and services stand out from the competition. It also encourages inventors to keep on improving their existing products with those advanced features and enhancements that are in sync with the latest technological trends. It also encourages people to try out something new, challenging, and risky. However, no invention or innovation can take place without taking risks and accepting new challenges. Therefore, this day encourages business and individuals to take risks and explore new ideas by breaking conventional thinking patterns. Without innovation, no society can progress, and innovation plays a vital role in resolving various social problems and make a society more productive through effective implementation of new technologies. Therefore, Innovation Day is a great opportunity for people in a society to apply their resources and create innovative products. Today is also National Almond Day. Whether you ground it into flour or use them as a salad or as it is for a healthy alternative to milk or just munch on a few for an afternoon snack. Almonds are among the most versatile and delicious of nuts, filled with vitamin E, magnesium, and fiber. Almonds are wonderful, healthy, and also helps in fighting heart diseases. Almond bark is delicious, slightly decadent, and incredibly easy to make it. Pour melted chocolate over almonds and add any other ingredients that catch your fancy, such as dried fruit. When the chocolate has hardened, break the bark into pieces and package it in cellophane as a great way to show someone you care and distribute it. Almonds come in variety of flavors options such as smoked, honey roasted, or even sriracha, and different textures like chopped, blanched, sliced, or silver. Sprouted almonds have a distinctive crunch, while Jordan almonds are known worldwide as a delicious treat. There are so many choices you can celebrate all day. And there may be no such thing as superfood or perfect food, but almonds are pretty good, packed with vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients. Almonds are a great source of plant protein and healthy fat. Plus, studies have shown that almonds can help reduce belly fat and lower cholesterol. Eating almonds can also keep your skin glowing. Almonds are a great source of vitamin E and other antioxidants that nourish the skin and reduce signs of aging. Researchers have found that several of the companies So with this, we shall conclude today's commemorations. Yesterday was World Hippo Day. And also Nirvana Day. And the International Childhood Cancer Day. As we couldn't have time left, we couldn't commemorate. So World Hippo Day on February 15th, that is yesterday, celebrates the extraordinary hippopotamus and encourages people to take action to prevent its extinction. And scientists somehow placed hippos in the same groups as pigs, despite their outward similarities with pigs or wild boars. Hippopotamus are closely related to whales, dolphins, and porpoises. Hippos are semi-aquatic animals that are native to sub-Saharan Africa. They are herbivores, can weigh up to 2,000 kgs, making them the third largest land mammal after elephants and rhinos. Hippos are primarily found in rivers, lakes, and mangrove swamps. Hippos are thought to have originated from the group of semi-aquatic animals called Vippomorpha. This group later split into two branches around 54 million years ago. The first branch, which includes whales and dolphins, evolved to become complete aquatic cetaceans. The second branch became the Anthracotheres, a close ancestor of the common hippo. So during the Pilon epoch, over 2 million years ago, all branches of the Anthracotheres went extinct, except that those evolved into hippopotami. This group of hippo ancestors migrated to Africa around 35 million years ago and dominated the continent as one of the earliest large mammals. Between 16 and 8 million years ago, the oldest known hippopotamus, ID. So across the world, we have seen hippos, and hippos spend around 16 hours out of 24 hours in a day submerged in water to keep their vast bodies cool, hence the name hippopotamus, meaning river horse in Greek. At night, the hippo leaves the water to feed on grasses. Hippos are vital to Africa's rivers and lakes. Their solid waste produces and provides the ecosystem with a vast amount of nutrients and helps certain fish species to survive. While hippo's skin is about 2 inches thick, a bullet can still pierce their skin if shot at their torso. However, you can say that they are almost bullet resistant. So you can visit zoos and natural habitats where you can find a hippo, and you can watch movies on hippopotamus. A movie called Madagascar. It's a wonderful movie. Of course, it's also a country name. Don't get confused. It's an animation movie, series of movies. The population of hippos is dwindling in the wild. So many animal conservation organizations are working around the clock to prevent this animal species from going to extinct. And they also need our support. So we can help in various ways by creating awareness, by donating cash or kind to these hippos. So hippos, generally, we see hippos swimming in the water. Instead of swimming, hippos walk off or run along the riverbed. So when sunbathing, the hippo secretes an oily reddish orange slime that protects their skin from ultraviolet rays and harmful bacteria. Hippos and whales share the same semi-aquatic ancestors that lived around 54 million years ago. The hippo's front teeth are tusks which they use to defend themselves against threats. Despite their enormous size, hippos can run at a speed of 19 to 30 miles per hour. The hippo's dung or solid waste provides lakes and rivers necessary nutrients for life in the ecosystem to thrive. If hippos go in African water bodies such as Lake Victoria, and hippos are the only mammals that live both on land and water. It serves as a bridge between both the worlds, taking nutrients from land and dumping them into water bodies. They have sensitive skin, yet are one of the most aggressive mammals. Despite their enormous size, they can still run faster than an Olympic sprinter. All these and more make the hippo a fascinating animal. So with this, we shall conclude today's sessions. We request everyone to fill the feedback form. And those who have not registered, kindly register. Those who have already registered can ignore. There is a separate registration link shared in the chat box. For this 1 week event, only once registration is required. We have shared in the chat box. And we request everyone to fill the feedback form, which is being shared now. Before leaving the platform. It is mandatory at the end of 1 week conference seminar. We'll be issuing certificates on a daily basis based on the participation. So we thank each one of you for joining us for this wonderful sessions, and see you all tomorrow at the same time. And happy Ekadasi to all of you. And happy cow hugging week.